The Gators take down the Longhorns 29-21 in week 6. They finally get it done. Florida finally wins a game where we've said how many times this year in the LSU game, hey, they could win this game. They have the talent to do it. Miami, they could win this game. They have the talent to do it. Now we see Florida finally against Texas, a team we knew they had the talent to do it against, in the Swamp, who was absolutely one of the best 12th men in the country. The Gators and Billy Napier finally get themselves a big win. Now, of course, Texas has not looked great this year. In the games they should have won, they've won, and even in some of those games, they haven't really looked as dominant as we're used to seeing Sark's teams be, at least these last couple of seasons. But this is still a good win for Florida. For one, it's an SEC conference win. They needed it badly. And second, Billy Napier, his seat needed this win badly, and so did this team and the fan base, from a morale standpoint. Let's talk about it. First and foremost, this Florida offense proved me wrong. I picked Texas to win this game, so I was wrong. And my biggest kind of reasoning behind picking Texas to win this was Billy Napier's ineffectiveness on offense, his inability to scheme guys open, to not get the ball out of DJ's hands quick enough. The run game just kind of abandoning Jaden Baugh. The offensive line struggled mightily this season, and now they've played 2 very good defensive lines, but this is one of the best in the country, so now their 3rd great defensive line that Florida's had to play against. I just wasn't sure how they were going to manage to turn things around. Now, the benefit to this, not only being at home, was Florida came in off a bye week. That's huge for them. Secondly, I mentioned this in my preview video, getting Dallas Wilson was massive. So let's start with him, man. 6 catches, 111 yards, and 2 touchdowns. True freshman. Man among boys out there. Unbelievable performance and a great job from Billy Napier getting the ball in his hands. That's always been my gripe, is Napier has so much talent on this offense, but we see Jaden Baugh not getting enough carries. Vernell Brown not getting enough touches. Trey Wilson not getting enough touches. This game, the love was spread. I don't even think Trey Wilson had a catch in this football game. Between the 2 true freshmen, Vernell Brown and Dallas Wilson, this Florida offense is in great hands. DJ Lagway started to look a little bit more comfortable, but the biggest thing was the game plan. It was quick passes, some crossing routes in there. We had some mesh concepts, those intermediate crossers to just get the ball out of DJ's hands fast, not put too much pressure on this offensive line against a very good defensive line. Jaden Baugh had himself 27 carries. It's about time. That's what needed to happen. He should at least minimum be 20-plus carries a game. Lagway, 21 for 28, 2 touchdowns, both to Dallas Wilson, one on a beautiful RPO. Love that in from Billy Napier. Glad we're finally getting a little bit more of that. That 1 interception obviously hurt him. DJ's still working on the turnover issue, but I say all this to tell you guys this offensive game plan was studied, it was practiced, it was prepared for what they were going to see against Texas, and it was finally curated to not only get the ball to your best athletes in space, but to get the ball out of DJ Lagway's hands fast enough. And that is what helped that Florida offense consistently move the football. Now, a little bit of conservativity there at the end. That's kind of been a gripe I've had with Billy. Anytime Florida gets themselves a lead, this is like the style of game they like to win, where they just kind of, let's just keep the door cracked and not make any big mistakes. It's kind of timid, and then it just turns into runs on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down, punt the thing away, and just play defense. But Ron Roberts and his defense again play a great game. They forced 2 interceptions out of Arch Manning, just in the backfield all night long. All night long. That defensive line for Florida has played so good this year. You think about the mixed moving pieces and the injuries they've had. That defensive line has just been, in my opinion, the best unit on this team. Cormani McClain had himself an interesting game. Let's talk about Texas. Okay, that's kind of it for Florida. I mean, it was just a great game out of the Gators. But when we talk about Texas, for one, just a terrible performance. Truly, Arch Manning just not very good. 16 for 29. He had the 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The 1 touchdown to Wingo was an unbelievable pass. I'll give him that. The other one to Wisner, the ball should have been out quicker than it was. But with all of that being said, for one, the offensive line play did not help Arch at all. Terrible offensive line blocking most of this game. Pass pro was anemic. It was just non-existent the entirety of this football game, it felt like. But secondly, Texas couldn't run the football. Their leading rusher is Arch Manning with 37 yards and 15 carries. Wisner was essentially non-existent. That offensive line looked so bad. For the amount of recruiting talent that this team has, I'm starting to fear the development, at least on that offensive line, is not where it needs to be for Texas, because this was so bad against a defensive line that's had how many new pieces and shifting guys in and out and injuries. Florida dominated the line of scrimmage, really on both sides of the ball, to be completely honest with you. That Texas defensive line started to pick it up a little bit there in the second half against the run game, but This Texas offense in general was just not good. It was not good at all. When you can't run the football, especially in a tough environment on the road with a young quarterback like Arch Manning, I mean, you're just setting yourself up for disaster. And that's exactly what happened. The 2 interceptions were just not good. You could see a little bit of panic, a little bit of, hey, this pocket's closing so fast on me. Sark's not giving me anything underneath, no intermediate crossing routes, no quick releases. Just nothing to ease him into this game, nor was there anything to even keep him in this game. Now, again, Texas was in the game at the end of it. I understand that. They had their chances to win this thing. You take away some of the turnovers and really just inability to get Florida off the field. I mean, Florida wins time of possession. What is that down there? 34 to 25. So it just felt like Sark is just not giving Arch any kind of ability to get anything done. Texas defensively, just not sure what happened here, guys. They got moved off the line of scrimmage. The secondary, a lot of man-to-man that was just getting beat. It just felt like they never really shifted or tried to find a way to stop it. I do think in the second half, they started to bow their chest a little bit. They played a little bit better, but they were on the field for 35 minutes in this football game. So that also gets really tough. Now, even from the get-go, Florida was moving the ball. It felt like a momentum thing and really just a mental preparation thing that Texas just didn't show up ready to play. I don't know if this team just felt like they were going to kind of pick up where last year's team left off and they were just going to be able to coast, but this Texas football team has just looked really lifeless. And both of their losses this season, it's just looked like there hasn't really been much to go off of. The receiving room, really, Parker Livingston for me is about the only guy out there that's made significant splashes this season. I understand Wingo is a star. I know they got Mosley and some other good guys, but I think about missed opportunities, not only this season, but in this game. Okay, you talk about the screen pass that was a double pass, right? They throw a little screen out to the wide receiver. They try to hit injuries on a double pass. I mean, he's wide open, like he's eyes closed, walking into the end zone. They overthrow that one, they miss it. There was another pass that Arch Manning pocket was starting to close. He kind of had to back foot heave this thing, overthrows Emmett Mosley by a couple yards. Cormani McClain wasn't within 10 yards of him. I mean, that would have also been a walk-in touchdown. So right there, I mean, again, I understand we don't live off ifs, ands, and buts, but I mean, that's 14 points that Texas just missed by really 4 yards worth of overthrows. So it's just a lot of mistakes this year. It's felt like a lack of confidence, a lack of energy, a lack of preparation out of the Longhorns, and it doesn't get any easier because now they got to go play in the Red River against a good Oklahoma team that's continued to roll, coming off a lot of momentum, and they kind of got you down with your belly showing. So they're ready to kind of pounce. But again, the Gators, man, this is a huge win. Now you think back to the USF game for Florida. If you're sitting 3-2 with losses to LSU and Miami, the Miami loss continues to look better and better now. This is an entirely different conversation than 2 and 3. However, you got to start somewhere. And for me, regardless of record, and really just for Billy Napier to prove that he deserves to be the head coach at Florida for the foreseeable future outside of talent development and recruiting, because I do think maybe not development of DJ Lagway, we'll see. This was a step in the right direction, but at least in talent acquisition, I know he's done a good job. I will give him that, i.e. Vernell Brown, Dallas Wilson, some of these guys that are already making big plays and really did the majority of the legwork in this football game. But offensively, that needs to be the MO. You go play a Texas A&M defense that I believe has given up like 1 or 2 touchdowns in the last 8 quarters of football. And one of those was because Auburn had like a 70-something yard pick six that got their offense down in the red zone and was able to punch the ball in. So you're playing a really good Texas A&M defense on the road against the top 10 team next week. It does not get any easier for the Gators, but hey, this was a must win. It's a good start. We'll see if they can build off this, right? No 1 step forward, 2 step backward. That's not what's going to happen. As for Texas, you got to shake this thing off. You got to find some spark. Offensively, you got to find a new scheme to get the ball out of Arch's hands fast, use his legs a little bit more, like designed runs, not scrambling for his life. And that offensive line has to hit the weight room yesterday. So that's all I got, friends. I appreciate you for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.